Hi everyone, this is Mo at Issaquah Sewing and Vacuum, and thanks for joining me today. Boy, last week was so busy. We were so involved with Sew Expo, and let me tell you what fun we had. But today I'm here to give you a tip and a deal, right? So let's get on with that. Today's tip is going to be about seam rippers. And this is, hold on, I got to do a little jerry rigging with the camera. Here we go. We're going to talk a little bit about seam rippers. So I'm going to take the focus off of me and give you a close-up shot of seam rippers. We have gotten seam rippers with our sewing machines. We've gone out and purchased seam rippers specifically to take care of unsewing, unpicking. They have quite many different names, but a seam ripper typically has a very sharp area right down there in the curve, and it comes up to a point very sharp. And then there's this little red ball on the end, and that little red ball serves a very important purpose. I did a little history on seam rippers and found out that the first one was patented back in 1883, and before that thread cutters were traditionally on a thimble. But the seam ripper was designed, and we've seen so many different people utilize them in different ways, and I'm going to show you the tip of how I do it. So you have a seam, and maybe your 1/4-inch seam turned out to be a little bit bigger than you wanted, or maybe like me, my 4 patches didn't line up exactly perfect. Let me tell anyone out there who sews, you must learn to unsew. It's just the way life goes. So you would come to the end of your stitches and open up your seam just a little bit so you can get inside. That's all I'm doing. I'm opening up my seam so I can get inside. A seam ripper is designed so that the ball, that red ball, goes inside the seam and it runs along the edge of the seam. The point of the seam ripper is you don't want that to get stabbed into fabric. You want that to kind of tip out and get out of your way. Now, when you're seam ripping, I want you to see, look at me, I'm just running this straight up the fabric. I'm not picking. A good sharp seam ripper ought to just go straight up and viola. Look at that. Seam ripped in a moment. Now, some of us have these seam rippers that have what almost looks like an eraser's edge on them, right? That is so that you can run over your seams and get all those threads out. So it will assist you in pulling out all these threads that you removed. So again, many times with seam ripping, folks will say, pick. But I say open up the end of the seam. I'm going to do this one more time because it's so magical. Open up the end of the seam because I have to be able to get in there and get that red ball up against the seam. And then it is just going to run along, zip, zip, zip. And it's going to make seam ripping so easy that if you're not completely happy with the stitch that you formed, that you're perfectly okay with taking it apart. My camera's blurring in and out. I'm going to come back up. So like I said, we had a great time at Sew Expo last week, and I wanted to tell you we're extending the Sew Expo deals. We're honoring all the deals that happened at Sew Expo. I know that for the Baby Luck booth, we had several really tremendous bundles that were coming with machines. So the deal for this week is that we're going to continue to honor the Sew Expo deals. Okay? That's awesome. And again, if you have not signed up for our Sew Time Club, be sure to go online at www.issaquahsewvac.com and you can sign up for our Sew Time Club, but you can also still see those Sew Expo bundles. Really exciting stuff. And the next Sew Time Club is actually going to happen in April. The title of that one is going to be Applique for Everyone, so that's going to be a lot of fun. Anyway, I know this was quick today, but it was a quick tip that's going to save you a lot of time, because unsewing is just as important as sewing. Thanks.